Good morning and shit to all my beautiful friends, kings, queens, internet cousins. I love you guys, but listen up. So I was doing my coffee this morning and cleaning up the kitchen, and I started thinking about the Idaho case. Because this shit has lived rent-free in me and Bucky's mind for months now, huh, Bucky? He's scared. He's scared of Bryan Kohberger, first of all. What if somebody in the house knew that Bryan Kohberger had a crush on Kaylee or Maddie? They knew that the unaliving had already happened, so they call BK and say, hey, or text him even. What if they were texting him from Kaylee or Maddie's phone, like, hey, you should come over, blah, 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 we're having a party. So he shows up, hops, skits, and jumps from Washington, which is another thing that never sat right with me. Why would somebody from Idaho be unalived by somebody who lives in Washington? But anyways, so this is just a thought. What if they texted him from Kaylee's phone, say, hey, Bryan, it's me, Kaylee, you should come over, blah, blah, blah. And he comes over. When he gets there, it's obviously not her alive. So they frame him and say, hey, you're going to clean all of this up or we're going to do this to you next. Think about it. It wasn't him there at 2 a.m. I don't care what anyone says. That was them other boys. I don't care what anyone says. If you watch the video footage, there was multiple men running outside of that house. So what if they knew Bryan was an OCD cleaner? Or my theory is that Bryan was hired to clean up from the underground fight ring because they knew he was OCD and compulsive, okay? So what if they literally framed him? They invite him over saying it's Kaylee. He gets there. He's like, what the fuck? They're like, you're going to clean this up or you're next. What would you do? If you just saw 4 people laying there ritualistically carved and unalived, you would probably clean the shit up, wouldn't you? And for everyone saying that he's guilty because he took a guilty plea, technically in most cases, you have to have an actual confession that is consistent with the case. That's how back in the day when they would have all them serial killers, there would be hella people that would come forward and they would claim the killings and then know nothing about it or have the wrong murder weapon or not know the exact place where the victim was harmed. And then they would figure out, oh, this person didn't really do this. They just called in. Just think about it. Just think about that. Because it's really bothering me, like to the point that my stomach is turning thinking about this, because like I said, I didn't say that he's fully innocent, but there is no way that somebody did that much damage, didn't leave any red stuff behind in the fact. So I started thinking about it and I was like, well, he didn't have their DNA under their fingernails. How could that have happened? But nowadays they make those freaking like the gloves where you can even touch your touchscreen and those things are so thick. But if that's the case and he had on gloves, then how would he have had that one little tiny cut that they show in the shower picture of him? And they was like, oh, that's a creepy selfie, and he's like throwing up a peace sign. So how would he not have had any of their DNA or any cuts on him but the one tiny cut on his finger? I just think that whoever did it had pull in the town, or maybe somebody owed them a favor. And think about this too. Donors of the school, political donors, if they know that they're getting massive donations from a family every year, that school would fight. That police department, if they get donations, whatever the case may be, they would fight to cover that up, because rich people don't get caught for their crimes. I don't know when we're ever going to figure this out. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody's ever going to be held accountable for their crimes if they're actually wealthy. And then with the whole thing about the website was down in the middle of the night to the EDU Idaho website, and they said that that could only happen a few of different ways. There's just more to this case, dude, and it makes my skin crawl. I can't sleep at night because something's not right. It reminds me of that show Madeline I used to watch when I was a little kid, the little cartoon, and she'd be like, something's not right. The nun that ran the schoolhouse. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I've literally been watching true crime since I was a little kid with my parents, and trust me, I've learned a lot over the last 34 years, and this is just one case that it's driving me just to all these different levels of curiosity and insanity, wondering like what really happened, because a woman's intuition knows, dude, and something's not right. Dylan's story has changed so many times. I'm literally going to try to find time this week to go through, listen to every one of her statements with my computer, and then type down every single inconsistency so I can come back and bring them to you guys, because baby, the notes I've taken the last few days, when I make a video on it, you guys are going to be like, wow, that's crazy. I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I also did some research last night into hazings and different sorority rituals and stuff. You guys should look up how many people die from sorority and hazings at fraternities. It happened a lot when I was in my teenage years. Or what if Brian had been trying to join a fraternity and they wouldn't let him join, and they told him that if he did this and hazed them that they would let him join? Because like I said before, he definitely struggled and wanted to fit in with others. Which reminds me, if you are under my age, which is 34, please go watch The Skull and Bones Society, the movie with Paul Walker. I don't think people really understand the dark stuff that happens inside of sororities and fraternities. You guys realize they make them do all kinds of rituals and pledges, which aligns with witchcraft and magic. I literally follow a girl on here who got to the top rank of the sorority, and the ritual they wanted her to do, she couldn't do, so she had to leave. I can't remember her name. If it comes to me, I'll tag her, but you'd be surprised what a big college would do to cover up some shit. They don't want to lose their donors, and they don't want people to be scared to send their kids to school there, so they had to pin it on someone. How bad would it look on the university if they had 3 or 4 or 5 of their students even planning a unaliving of this size? It wouldn't look very good on the university, now would it?